Welcome to the deep dive.
Okay, so you've sent over this fascinating stack of sources. It details this military journey, but it reads almost like high fantasy meets,
Uh,
well, sci-fi horror.
it really does blend those genres, doesn't it? We're
Yeah.
talking about a military expedition, yeah, but it's crossing these incredibly treacherous mountains and their guide, a man everyone calls a magician.
Right, Shaker Sandow. And this is Commander Richter's mission with the Darklands forces.
Exactly. They have to get across the Banibal Mountains and the Cloud Range Mountains. It's a race against the rival nation, Oragonia.
Oragonia, led by King Jerry Madabane, and they're all after this cache of ancient technology from the blank era.
That's the goal. Get that tech before Matabane does. It's powerful stuff, apparently. Remnants of a lost age.
So the military goal is clear,
Mm-hmm.
secure the tech advantage. But, what really hooked me is the magician, Sandow. Why is he involved? It's not for glory or patriotism, the sources say.
No, not at all. Shaker Sandow and his apprentices, Mace and Gregor, they're on this incredibly dangerous trip for Sandow's own reasons. It's deeply personal.
He's trying to find out the truth about himself, about where Shaker powers actually come from. People call it magic or maybe something demonic.
Huh.
But Sandow, he's convinced it's something else entirely, something connected to the science of the blank. That lost era holds the key to his own identity.
Wow. So it's not just about winning a war. It's about him proving his entire existence isn't some kind of curse, but, well, a scientific reality.
Precisely. That's the core of his quest. Okay, so let's dive into the journey itself. The setting is just brutal.
Yeah, it starts in Perdune, a village sort of crushed between these two giant mountain ranges, the Banibals to the west.
And the cloud range to the east, which sounds, frankly, terrifying. The sources say it's so high, the peaks are always hidden in cloud. Almost nobody has ever made it across that eastern range.
An impossible barrier, almost. And right away, the physical challenge is matched by this technological threat from Oragonia.
Yeah, the enemy isn't just waiting at the finish line. They're already using bits of this blank technology.
So even before Richter's main force sets out, their spies are reporting Oragonian advancements.
That's right. They've seen wheeled vehicles moving without benefit of horses, like cars, basically.
Okay, that's a big advantage.
And even more worrying, a small, oval, silver flying machine resurrected from the blank. It's been seen near Matabane's castle.
Wait, a flying machine? Already? If Oragonia has air power, why are they also racing across the mountains? Couldn't they just fly in and grab the main cache?
That's a good question. The sources seem to suggest this specific cache. It's maybe more than just transport tech. It could be weapons or command systems, something complex or fragile.
Ah, so maybe too difficult to just airlift out quickly, especially if they don't fully understand it yet. They need boots on the ground to secure it properly.
That seems to be the thinking,
Yeah.
which makes Richter's overland race absolutely vital. They have to get there first.
Okay, let's look at Sandow's team then. The magical contingent. Sandow himself is old, described as wizened.
Yeah, and obsessed with old texts, scraps from the blank era. Apparently he keeps them stacked on his desk, partly because he just likes the smell of the old paper, a real scholar.
Yeah. Okay. And there's that detail about him pulling at his face when he's deep in thought.
Yes, constantly pulling at his sallow, wizened face. It's such a humanizing little detail, isn't it? Makes him feel real.
It does. And his companions.
They balance him out. You've got Mace, huge guy, incredibly strong. He calls himself a minor magician, but really his strength is physical.
The muscle.
Right. And then there's Gregor, younger, more intellectual, described as fair. He's Sandow's apprentice, developing his own shaker abilities.
So brains, brawn, and developing powers. Seems like a solid team, but they run into trouble almost immediately, don't they, before they even hit the mountains?
Oh yeah, big trouble. Internal treachery hits them straight away in Perdune. An assassin tries to kill Sandow, Mace, and Gregor
How?
with dynamite. Sticks of dynamite.
Dynamite. Wow. Okay, so another piece of blank tech clearly brought in by Oragonia and used for assassination attempts right at the start.
Exactly. Mace only survived because the stick thrown into his room was, thankfully a dud, but it shakes everyone up.
I bet. So Commander Richter realizes he needs Sandow's abilities for more than just navigation.
Right. He asks Sandow to do a reading to try and, magically identify the assassin hiding among them. Sandow uses this shiny silver plate to focus his power.
And this is where it shifts, isn't it? From seeming like fantasy towards something else. What does he see?
Well, at first the images are blurry, just shapes. But as he concentrates, the faces of the attackers sharpen and they're horrifying.
How so?
They're described as being woven through with a net of wires, and there are small plastic squares embedded in them. Transistors.
Whoa. Wires and transistors, not magical runes or demonic signs.
It's not. Not at all. Sandow, the magician, uses his magic to see that the threat is purely mechanical, or maybe biomechanical. His conclusion is chilling. He says there does not seem to be the mind of a man in either of those two we see.
More machine than man. So the enemy isn't just using old tech, they are, like, merging with it, becoming weapons themselves.
That's exactly what it implies.
Yeah.
They're not just spies. There's something fundamentally different, something inhuman.
That must change everything for the expedition, the psychological impact.
Huge. And these assassins, we later learn their names, are Cartier and Zito Tanisha. They lean into that inhuman quality. They start this campaign of psychological terror.
The murders in the night?
Yes. They kill 22 sleeping Banibaleers, just slit their throats.
Yeah.
The truly brutal part,
What's that?
in many of the sleeping units, they deliberately leave one man alive.
Oh, that's vicious. Why?
To breed paranoia, distrust. Every survivor looks at the other guy left alive and thinks, why him? Is he one of them? It's designed to make the soldiers turn on each other.
Cold. Calculating. These wired ghosts, as the source material seems to call them, are trying to dismantle the expedition from the inside, using fear.
Exactly. While Richter's men are also dealing with the sheer physical hell of climbing the cloud range, it's brutal.
And Mace really steps up here, right? Saving Gregor.
He does. There's this moment where Gregor is crossing a huge chasm, like 700 feet deep, on a pulley rope. And the rope starts to fail. It's been sabotaged.
Sabotaged how? More tech.
No, low tech this time, surprisingly. A bottle of poison brandy was used somehow to weaken the rope. It shows these wired ghosts are versatile. They use dynamite, wires, and poison.
Relentless. And Mace manages to save Gregor.
Yeah, pure strength and bravery, hauls him back from the edge, but the incident just ramps up the tension, sabotages everywhere.
The pressure must be immense, and it leads to this really poignant moment with Commander Richter, doesn't it? A confession.
It does. It's a reminder that beneath the military strategy and the sci-fi horror, these are still human beings under incredible strain. Richter confides in Sandow.
What does he tell him?
He admits that Captain Belmondo, an officer who died earlier in what looked like an accident on a snow bridge. Well, Belmondo is actually Richter's son. His real name was Jamie Dark.
His son? Wow.
Yeah. General Dark, the overall commander back home, had entrusted Jamie to Richter, asked Richter to basically make him into a man on this mission.
Oh, the weight of that. So Richter's not just leading a mission against impossible odds and fighting machine assassins. He's also carrying this immense personal grief and guilt over failing his commander and, well, losing his own son.
Exactly. It's devastating. And that raw humanity, that vulnerability and pain, is such a stark contrast to the cold, logical cruelty of the wired ghosts. Kind of underscores what's at stake, you know, what they're fighting to preserve.
It really does. And speaking of quests, Sandow's personal journey finds its answers after they finally cross the mountains, right? Section 3.
Yes, they make it over the cloud range and descend into, well, something impossible, a jungle. An unnaturally tropical jungle right near the frost line.
That makes no sense geographically.
None at all. And it gets weirder. These squealer birds they use for scouting report that part of the forest is crystallized. Like the leaves are made of sugar lace and the trees are like diamond. It's caused by some strange crystal disease.
Crystallized trees? Okay.
And then they realize the entire jungle, this weird tropical zone, is a perfect circle. It clicks. This isn't natural, it's artificial.
Contained? Like what?
Like an old amusement park.
Yeah.
That's what the sources suggest. An ancient pre-blank entertainment complex,
Right.
somehow preserved.
That is bizarre. They cross the deadliest mountains, fight cyborgs, and find the secrets of the past hidden in the ruins of an old theme park.
The irony is pretty thick, yeah.
Uh,
But this is where Sandow gets his answers. Inside this crystal zone, he manages to communicate with something called a specter.
a ghost.
Sort of.
Yeah.
The consciousness of a former caretaker of this place who got caught in the crystallization. But his mind is still there, apparently existing across all of time.
Okay, that's mind-bending. And this specter, it confirms Sandow's theory.
It confirms everything. It tells him flat out, shaker powers. They aren't magic, they aren't demonic, they are extrasensory perception. ESP.
ESP, like psychic ability.
Exactly. And the origin isn't supernatural, it's scientific, or at least a consequence of science gone wrong.
How?
Radiation. From an ancient war, before the blank era, the powers are mutations passed down through generations, a result of forgotten conflict.
So Sandow wasn't cursed. His ancestors weren't consorting with demons. They were mutants, survivors of an apocalypse. The relief he must feel.
Immense. And crucially, the Spectre explains the deaths of Shaker mothers during childbirth, the thing that caused Sandow so much guilt.
What was the reason?
It was just a tragic side effect of the ESP. The mothers were psychically transmitting the intense pain of childbirth, overwhelming their own bodies.
Yeah.
A genetic flaw, basically. Not a divine punishment, not a curse.
Biology. Terrible, tragic biology. Sandow finally understands himself. His lifelong quest is over.
It is. He gets his answer, grounded in science, not superstition. And just as this happens, they make contact with allies.
The White Giants.
Yeah, these 7-foot-tall, white-furred beings. The sources call them race changers or mutants. They're led by someone named Bergerac. They survive the blank by living underground beneath this ancient city.
And they have functional blank tech.
They do. Really advanced stuff. They have autodocs, automated surgeons. Gregor got shot during an earlier skirmish, and these autodocs heal his wound completely. No scar, nothing.
Wow. Instant, perfect healing. That's incredible power.
It shows the potential of the blank era's knowledge. But they also bring bad news.
Let me guess. Oragonia.
Oragonia has broken through. They've already invaded Darklands territory while Richter's team was crossing the mountains. The race might be over, but the war is heating up.
So the final showdown is coming. Do they deal with the internal threat first, the wired ghosts?
Yes, that gets resolved quickly. Cartier, one of the assassins, makes a final attempt on Richter's life. Mace, showing how much he's adapted, takes out the other assassin, Zito Tanisha, with a thrown knife.
Yeah.
Cartier is presumably captured or killed in his attempt on Richter. And in death.
The horror is confirmed.
Completely. Their bodies literally split open, revealing wires, transistors, bits of machinery snaking inside, and creepily, the tech seems to try and find a new host before failing.
Ugh. Okay. Nightmare fuel confirmed. More machine than man. Wasn't an exaggeration.
Not at all. So, the internal threat is neutralized. Now it's time for the external one. Richter, allied with Bergerac and the White Giants, plans the counterattack.
Using what? The autodocs?
Using something much, much bigger. The ultimate blank artifact the mutants possess. A massive, ancient nuclear submarine. They call it the Dragon.
A nuclear submarine. Still functional after all this time?
Apparently so. Hidden away, maintained by Bergerac's people. And they use it.
Oh.
They launch an attack from the sub, miles away from King Matabane's castle. Using advanced weapons, the sources mention implosion missiles.
Implosion missiles? What are those?
The text notes, rather clinically, that they reduce flying debris considerably. It sounds like a cleaner, but still devastatingly powerful weapon. Designed maybe to limit fallout or large-scale structural collapse while still, well, killing everyone inside.
So they wipe out Matabane's castle and arsenal from a distance. Impersonally.
Completely impersonally. Total destruction from miles off. Richter's soldiers cheer. They feel justified, victorious.
But Sandow sees it differently.
He does. Having just grounded his own identity in science, he observes the effect of this scientific warfare. He notes that the soldiers using this tech don't see themselves as killers.
How does he put it?
He says the killer thinks of himself merely as a technician, a cog in the great wheel of things. The technology removes the human element, the direct responsibility, from the act of killing.
That's a powerful and maybe prescient observation. So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you, for the listener?
Well, for Sandow, the journey was a success, right? He found his answer. He shed 60 years of guilt. He knows who and what he is, a product of science, of mutation, not magic. He understands himself.
But there's a huge but here, isn't there? The paradox of progress.
Absolutely. They won. They secured access to this incredible technology, autodocs that heal instantly, weapons that win wars from afar.
Yeah.
But isn't this the very kind of power that probably caused the blank in the first place?
Are they just restarting a cycle of technological advancement leading to mass destruction?
It feels like a real risk. And Sandow himself touches on this. He looks ahead, beyond the war, and thinks about how this tech will change everyday life.
What does he notice?
He thinks about how soon technology will make even the harsh winters in Verdun easy, comfortable. No more need for the community to band together. No more need for that hard-won self-reliance that struggle breeds.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought then. As we gain more powerful knowledge, more technology that smooths out the rough edges of life, that eliminates hardship, are we losing something essential?
Yeah, maybe something like empathy or resilience. Is there some part of our humanity that's only really forged, only preserved through struggle, through having to rely on each other when things get tough?
Something to definitely think about.
Yeah.
What do we lose when everything becomes easy? Thank you for diving deep with us today.